Good evening, everybody. I'm going to continue on to part three of um, DMSO and the wonderful benefits and properties of DMSO. Um, my nephew was playing basketball. Um, we were playing basketball together, and it was a Wednesday at around noon, 12:30, and he went up, came down, sprained his ankle terribly bad. Was unable to even put pressure on it. I had to carry him home. He was hopping home. Couldn't put any pressure whatsoever on his ankle. It was literally, you could hear the crack. I mean, it was really nasty. Myself, I've sprained my ankle probably 15 times playing basketball and know what sprained ankles are like. And so anyhow, you could just see the swelling on his foot almost instantly. Put DMSO on, and I had him put it on every 3 to 4 hours for throughout the whole day. By the following morning, Thursday morning, I even saw it to where it was starting to swell up on his high ankle. It was going up high. It was a high ankle sprain, which those are the worst. And the swelling was about 75% subsided by the following morning. He almost had, normally your ankle turns black and blue and just looks hideous. Um, by that morning, he was not only walking around, he was even mildly jogging. This is the following day, not even 24 hours later. Kept playing it on for the next every 3 or 4 hours following until Friday. By Friday, the following day, his ankle had healed probably up to 90%, 95%, and he actually played basketball. We were running full court playing basketball Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, and he played basketball all 3 of those days, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, on a severe ankle sprain that happened only 2 days previously. And to this day now, it's been several months later, but now his ankle's completely healed, and he hasn't had any problems. And he didn't even take Advil for pain that night. I remember when I sprained my ankle bad. I mean, you would not have even been able to sleep. He would have been in so much pain with a severe, ankle sprain. So people usually will take Advil and pop a lot of pills and stuff for pain and stuff. He didn't even take any because he wasn't even in that much pain. So that's one example. We had numerous professional athletes, especially like Elgin Baylor, Daryl LaMonica, a lot of professional football players and basketball players that back in the 70s absolutely loved DMSO. Um, and so there's numerous testimonies. I highly recommend you read the book. If you have arthritis is inflammation of the bone. Okay, this is probably one of the best things to get instant relief for people, especially elderly people that have arthritis. Rub DMSO on, and you will find tremendous relief because it reduces that inflammation. And when the inflammation is gone and it's flushed out of the body, then you don't have that pressure being put on pain sensors and stuff like that. So it really reduces the pain and brings a lot of relief and releases that discomfort. Arthritis, um, sprained ankles, if you pull a hamstring. I've heard stories in this book, for example, where one guy, his whole back of his leg was black and blue from ankle to up to the all the way up to his butt. Black and blue caked. It was a really bad pulled hamstring, and they soaked him in DMSO and wrapped it in saran wrap. And after I think it was 2 or 3 days, he was a sprinter that was training for the Olympics, and he actually competed and ran in it might have been the 100 meter or 200 meter. He just barely got beat out, and he didn't make it. But just the fact that he was even able to attempt and compete 2 to 3 days after a severe pulled hamstring is nothing short of remarkable. So there's numerous stories and testimonies of people that have used it with remarkable success. In fact, one famous person is June Jones, who was head coach of um, in Hawaii. He helped bring Ashley Lee of the Broncos to Denver. He was quarterback for the Atlanta Falcons, and you can see his testimony on 60 Minutes. But he wouldn't have been able to play quarterback. His shoulder, he had a bone spur, severe shoulder pain to where he could barely even throw the football. And he would apply DMSO. It broke down calcium deposits, helps break up calcium, um, and he would be able to play an actual football game that he normally would never even be able to perform in without DMSO. Myself, I learned to live. I had swelling. I had inflammation in my knees, and I applied DMSO to my knees, and I couldn't get down on the floor and walk around on my knees, play with my kids. It would hurt. And so that was something that I unfortunately was not able to do. Well, I would apply the DMSO, and after doing that for about 2 to 3 weeks, it flushed all the fluid out. And every knee, normally they'd say, "Oh, get your knee scoped, have surgery, have the fluid drained." And it's like, here, I'll drain your knees, charge you $50,000 or whatever they want to charge. That's outrageous today. When all you would need is DMSO, you don't even need your knee scoped. You don't even need the fluid drained because DMSO would drain the fluid out. You don't need surgery at all. I did that, and after about 2 to 3 weeks, my knees are back to like, I'm in my 40s. They're back to like when I was in my 20s. So now I can get around on my knees, play. I play basketball, run full court. I'm in my 40s, and yet my knees feel like I did when I was 20. I love it. So, and in the process of playing basketball, there's some times when I dislocated my fingers, and they would swell to twice their size. I couldn't even bend them. Make a full fist on my hand. Apply DMSO on my fingers. Within 3 to 4 days, the fluid and the swelling was gone, and my fingers were back to 100% within 4 days, maybe 5 days, just depending on which one it was and the severity of the sprains. But I mean, your recovery time is remarkable, and in my estimation, I'd say 10 times faster than normal. Depending on what kind of stuff you use. DMSO I've used for. It's also phenomenal for burns. If you're on the stove and you're cooking and you burn yourself, not only will it work awesome for the burn, but it almost instantly will relieve the pain to where you have no pain, no discomfort. If you burn yourself, or say you cut yourself with a knife, put the DMSO on, and you'll notice 5-10 minutes later you'll be sitting around going, wow, I got this burn on my thumb and it doesn't even hurt anymore. And my neighbors have used it. I had a neighbor of mine, Joe, who had a car fall on his hand. I mean, he probably wouldn't have even, his hand was swelled to grapefruit, and he was in so much pain. He applied the DMSO. It reduced the inflammation. His recovery was like within a week. With the car falling on his hand, he recovered in about a week or whatever, and it was tremendous relief for the pain that he was in. So, I mean, I could go on and on about so many benefits that DMSO brings to people that unfortunately most people don't know about. And so I just want to get this information out to you so that you can be blessed by the benefits of DMSO. I have several other things because on health, there's simple solutions through natural means to treat virtually every illness and disease in the world known to man. And all we got to do is take the time, do a little bit of reading, do a little bit of research, use our minds. Let's be educated, not indoctrinated. And I'm not just telling you this because this is the first thing I come across. No, education is to read both sides. Read what one person says and read the other person. Check and see if there's an ulterior motive. Is this person out to make $1 million? I mean, the Rockefeller family that owns the pharmaceutical industry, it's about greed and money. It's about patenting. That's why they put on the bottom of vitamins, this is not intended to treat or cure a disease. They have to put that on vitamins so that they don't get sued and have a multi-million-dollar lawsuit. Okay, and I'll cover into maybe some of that on the next section. But a lot of it has to do with political means, where a lot of it's about money, and it's really sad and it's really unfortunate because a lot of people, there's products out there that are a lot better than what we're given from the pharmaceutical industry. So have a good night, and I'll continue on to the next section.